Hi, my name is Suzanne, and my topic is how to get your baby to sleep at night. When you were a child and you heard the word sleepover, your brain went into a state of sheer joy. Sleepovers meant giggles and ghost stories and movies and all-night eating. A sleepover is a rite of passage for a young person, the joys of staying up all night. And those joys continued right into your college years. There's no one around to tell you when to go to sleep or when to wake up. The truth is that most of us can get along just fine on missing a night or two of sleep, but no one can prepare a new parent enough for just how sleep deprived their life is about to become. I remember being a new mother and my son cried for the first time. I grabbed the sheet of instructions that the hospital gave me. I didn't know whether to change him first or feed him first, but it was all right there on the sheet. The only thing that wasn't there was how to get your baby to sleep. I tried everything with all my children, different techniques. They were as varied as my children were. Sometimes I remember just being utterly exhausted. When I became a foster mother to newborn babies before they were adopted, I did something different with those babies. In fact, sometimes I wonder if I really had angels here helping me because it just seemed so effortless in taking care of them. The babies came to our home when they were about 2 days old, and I took care of them just like I did my own little babies. I'd feed them, rock them, change them, cuddle them, and love them to death. But then I did something different. I put them down in their cradle while they were still awake, mostly because of necessity. I had other things to do and chores to be done around the house. But when I would go in to check on those babies, I found that they were asleep in their cradle. And it wasn't just one baby one time. It was all the babies all the time. So I wanted to share with you this technique that I know that works in caring for a newborn baby, and it will help you get some sleep. And let me just share with you some of the steps. So first, be consistent in your routine. By being consistent, your baby's going to know what to expect. So your routine might include a bath, feeding your baby, changing your baby, reading a book, cuddling or rocking. And then when the baby's sleepy but not asleep, you put the baby down in their bed. Now, feeding should not be the last step in your routine. So if it is, you need to switch that because you don't want the baby to fall asleep while you're feeding it. Mostly because the baby will wake up startled when he realizes he's not in your arms. And experts say that's the same as if we went to sleep in our nice cozy bed and woke up in our backyard. We'd be so startled and it would be hard to get us back to sleep. And that's exactly how your baby feels. So don't let feeding your baby be the last step in your routine. Make sure you're putting the baby down in their bed while they're still asleep. Another step in the routine would be not to go into their room when you first hear them cry. So it's inevitable that the first night you put them down, there's going to be a little whimpering. Let that whimpering last about 5 minutes, and then you go in, but do not pick the baby up. So you go in and you soothe the baby by talking to the baby or singing a little song, and you soothe the baby, and then you leave the room. Now this will happen on subsequent nights. And I know somebody that on her first night, she went in and she sat near the baby's bed and she soothed the baby by talking. And the second night she went in and she sat further away from the bed and she soothed the baby by talking. And the third night she sat almost by the door and she soothed the baby by talking. On the fourth night, the baby didn't even cry or whimper. And experts say it takes about a week for a baby to be able to soothe itself and to fall asleep on its own. I wish I had known these steps when I was a new mother. I would have saved myself a lot of heartache and grief, and oh, my poor babies, what they must have thought. And I know that if you follow these steps, and especially putting your baby to bed while they're still awake, that your baby will have a better sleep pattern and you will have better sleep patterns. And you can have that experience that you envisioned having when you first found out you were expecting. And I hope this works for you. Thank you.